Our top story this morning now, tensions between Russia and Ukraine show no signs of abating. Now, with the West and NATO involved, the two neighbors have refused to see eye to eye. In the latest, US President Joe Biden reassured his Ukrainian counterpart, Volodymyr Zelensky, that the United States and its allies will respond decisively if Russia moves to invade. The call came just days after President Biden spoke to Russian President Vladimir Putin amid Moscow's border tensions with Ukraine. Briefing the reporters after the call, White House spokesperson Jen Psaki said that President Biden made it clear that the United States and its partners will respond decisively if Russia invades Ukraine. Biden and Zelensky also discussed preparations for a series of upcoming diplomatic meetings to address this crisis. Zelensky took to Twitter, said that the two leaders discussed joint action on keeping peace in Europe, and Ukraine appreciated Washington's unwavering support. It's going to be a busy week of diplomacy starting next week from 9th of January. Representatives from the United States and Russia are set to meet in Geneva, followed by Russia-NATO Council talks in Europe. The United States and its European allies have accused Russia of threatening Ukraine with a new invasion. Some 100,000 Russian troops are gathered near the Ukraine-Russian border, while Russia denies planning any such invasion. Tensions remain high since Moscow in 2014 did exactly that, invade and annex the Crimean Peninsula. Moscow has justified the troop presence as protection against the expansion of NATO, although Ukraine has not been offered membership in the military alliance. Now, in light of the simmering tensions, a new law has now come into effect banning access for Russian ships in Ukraine-administered waters. Now, a law passed in 2020 prohibits all Russia-owned ships, passenger and cargo from entering Ukraine's rivers and reservoirs, and quoting the On-Inland Water Transport Law, cargo operations can be conducted in the inland waterways of Ukraine by either their own ships or foreign vessels, except for ships sailing with the flag of the aggressor state. Even though non-aggressor states can charter vessels for operations under the new law, foreign ships will be required to provide documents along with owner's permission for temporary registration in Ukraine. The vessels will also have to follow the regulations by international treaties on accessing Ukraine's waters. This is not the first time that Kyiv classified Russia as an aggressor. Earlier in 2018, Ukrainian parliament had proposed defining Russia as an aggressor state. It came after a Russian vessel was detained by Ukrainian border troops. Meanwhile, on Saturday, Ukraine claimed that one of its soldiers was killed while fighting with pro-Moscow separatists. Issuing a statement, Ukraine's army said one serviceman of the joint forces was fatally wounded after separatists had launched 3 attacks within 24 hours using grenade launchers and small arms. Soldiers reported deaths. It's the first fatality ever since truce between Russia and Ukraine was agreed on the 22nd of December, 2 weeks ago. International monitors said Russia and Ukraine had agreed to restore a ceasefire. But as early as the next day, Kyiv and separatists accused each other of new violations. However, such truce held no ground when it came to Russia and Ukraine. All previous ceasefires between the neighbors, including the previous truce agreed on July 2020, have now crumbled. Ukraine has been fighting a pro-Russia insurgency in its 2 border regions since 2014, when the Kremlin annexed Ukraine's Crimean Peninsula. In the last 7 years, conflict in Ukraine has left more than 13,000 dead. During his annual New Year address, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said that the primary goal for 2022 would be to end the war in the country's east.
Будь-яка армія по той бік кордону нас не лякає, бо неабияка армія по наш бік кордону нас захищає. І, на жаль, ми поки що не закінчили війну на сході нашої держави. І це моя головна ціль. Саме тому я говорю поки що. Тому що наступний рік він точно буде краще.
WION is now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the news on the move.